It's a bit of a wonder to go to a 700-seater, and here the mixes you've done here, which is like a 7-seater, and it sounds excellent. Basically the same. My main thing these days is to be a dubbing mixer for feature films and television shows as well. I've been at it for, I'd say, 30 years. My personal history with Kalevala Studio is as long as Kalevala Studio has been around. The main owner, Jyrki Rahkonen, who is a renowned Finnish sound designer and an old friend of mine. We used to play in a band together. In the 90s, I think, he started doing film work. And as he knew I was into gear, he asked me to help him out with some technical issues first. And then, as he knew I was interested in sound as well, he started to have me around doing some small things, and it grew stage by stage until I was ready to mix movies.
I'm a sound designer mostly nowadays. I did a lot of location sound previously, like 10 years ago or so. After that I started working as a sound editor, and now been doing a lot of sound designer work and dubbing mixer or re-recording gigs also in here in Kalevala Studio.
To be able to mix a movie, you have to be naive enough. My main concern while mixing a movie is to be able to get the feeling of the movie across to the viewer. I try to not know anything more than I need to know of the movie when I start mixing it. I just try to be the first viewer, the innocent viewer of the film, and then react so that I can translate the intentions of filmmakers to the viewer. This is the smaller of the mix rooms. This is for TV stuff plus sound editing. We have an Avid Icon 16 fader here, plus a 5.1 surround monitoring setup. This is our main mix room, which has 5.1, 7.1 and Atmos readiness. This room is mainly used for theatrical releases, but we're doing some of the VOD work here as well. We have, all in all, 27 loudspeakers here, which are all Genelecs but one. We have 1032s as surround speakers and on the ceiling as well. And then 1038s as the first object layer, and 1037s as screen speakers. The basic setup is Avid's Pro Tools software. The console is Avid Icon, a D-Control 32 fader controller. We have actually two separate Dolby processors for sound. We have one for Atmos, which is called the RMU, and then we have the CP750 for 5.1 and 7.1. My first Genelecs were 1019As in the 80s, I think, so I've quite a long history with Genelec. And of course, since this studio, as we came here in, I think it was in year 2005, I think it was, the screen speakers were Genelec already then. And when we came here and heard the screen speakers and felt that they sounded awfully nice, we decided that Genelec is the way to go forward. When you're speccing the room of this size, you need to have powerful enough speakers to reach the Dolby spec, you need to have enough power, enough frequency range. After that, I think it's more a question of acoustics of the room instead of the loudspeakers themselves.
And as a film mixing room, the most important thing is of course the translation to cinema. And I found that this is really good.
Yeah, it is.
No,
it is.
No
yeah,
worries wherever you go. Yeah.
The Atmos mixing is a niche thing in Finland. At least I think in Finland we have, I think, slightly over 10 theaters that are able to show Atmos movies.
I've only done one Atmos film myself, but what I really liked in that was not the immersive thing like using the ceiling and stuff, but the details you can really get out of the soundtrack is amazing. Yeah, and I think it really just takes a lot of time, like it did with 5.1 thing, that people start to kind of appreciate thing over stereo or whatever. It's much more than flying saucers above you and stuff like that. You can really use it its way.
The immersive sound is much more than 3D in picture. I think the sound is more 3D than the picture has been. So it's better to have just your normal movie plus an Atmos soundtrack than 3D movie and a 5.1 soundtrack. I think you get more that way. You get more immersed.
Yeah.
As is the catchword. Yeah.